this is where you want to be, in week 12, playing for a conference championship berth. So I'm really proud of our staff and of our players. I'm appreciative of the work that they've done and the belief that they've had this whole way through. And kind of talked about it this week. Every year you start this thing, with the intention of being here in week 12 with an opportunity to do something like this, and you work really hard towards it every year. There's never any promise in it, so it takes belief, but on top of that, it takes the stamina to work week after week. And we talked about every week is its own race. We've done that really well this year, and this is the biggest race of the year. So for us, everything we want's in front of us, and we're going to have to prepare like it, and we're going to have to certainly be ready to play like it on Saturday.
All right, so what can you tell us about the running back position?
Not much. So, yeah, don't know yet. We'll find out. Dre's getting, he's going to see the doctor today, so we'll see where he's at. Zylan, we're going to try to get him back this week. I think that's a real possibility. Certainly still got Bill behind them. Tylen Citizen would be the next one up. He early in the year got a little bit of time against Kennesaw State, played well in that game. He's been playing on special teams for us, practices really well. So, it is what it is, got to be ready to go.
I mean, if things don't go your way, is there any scenario where, is anyone else even remotely prepared to play in a game of this importance in that position? You may not have a choice,
No. That's where we're at.
We're talking a lot about don't throw anything at me here.
Thanks for prefacing that.
Have you even thought about a scenario? We've got all these names, Massey and Wolf and Billingsley and all that if y'all do win and Marshall wins, where is it even in your mind that you might have to score more points and make game management decisions that you wouldn't normally make because of all the stuff that none of us even understand?
No. We're worried about one thing. And honestly, we need to win this game. And the rest of it, listen, playing at home is something that we certainly really want. But we're all you can really worry about is what's right in front of you. And I think, when you see too much, you don't see anything at all. So for us, it's we got to prepare to take care of our business this week and win this game. And if we have to travel to play, great. If we get to play it at home, obviously that's ideal. But it's just it is what it is. We had an opportunity to be in that spot and not have to worry about it, but you can't go back. What happened. We played a bad half of football in conference play, and it cost us. And that all happened. I think we've learned from it. For us, we got to get ready to go play 60 minutes of really good football this week, so we can come out with a win. And then I'll let them figure out the tiebreakers after that. That's just what it is.
You talked about the running backs. Secondary's been beat up. What do you know about them going into last week?
I mean, Keon came out at the end of the game, thinking he'll be fine. Caleb Anderson, I think, will be ready to go. He practiced last week, so I think he's ready to go when his number's called. Agu played really well. Disappointed that Zell didn't play last week. Felt like he could, and right before the game, he felt like he couldn't. Jalen Clark's getting, a little bit better every week. He needs to get ready to go. Cody Jackson's played great. T. Lou's played great. But I challenged our team. I was like, listen, it's week 12. No one feels very good right now. 98% of this team, those guys are dying to get out there, and they're doing everything they can. Sometimes you got to play hurt. There's a difference in hurt and injured. Injured, you're not cleared. You're off. That's a different deal. Everyone's hurt in week 12. Everyone, I don't care what team you're talking about. Across the country, everyone that's played significant minutes is hurting right now. That's what this game is. It's a game of attrition, and it's a game of mental toughness. And sometimes it takes more mental toughness to be able to play with some things than physical toughness. And I challenge our team. I was like, this week the most important thing is getting as many bullets back as we can. So we got a really good team. We got everybody ready to go. Feels like we haven't had everybody for quite a while now. We've done everything from a training room perspective and practice and all these things to get these guys back. So challenge them this week to get back, get back in it. Hell, Keon Martin got stretchered off of the field 2 weeks ago, and he fought hell to get back so he could go and play great. So, you got a lot of examples of that, but we got a lot of guys that are right on the fringe that we need to get back. That that you got to play through some things sometimes, and if ever there was a damn time to do it, it's now. So that's challenge them a little bit this week, but I don't know. To be honest with you, sometimes you just got to decide that you're gonna freaking go do something and go do it. So that's where we're challenging guys. We didn't get here by saying, hey, do what you want. We didn't get here by taking the easy way. We didn't get here by not doing things the hard way. We got here because we're tough. We got here because we do things the hard way. We got here because we were foot to the gas every single day, and we're not going to stop now just because we're close to where we want to be. If anything, we'll be on it even harder.
After watching film, were the issues with the running game more about them really flooding the box and putting a lot of people, or are there other issues that y'all can address?
It was a weird deal. When you go back and watch it, it was like we were just kind of like one off the whole day. It was just kind of one off, and it wasn't one person. It wasn't, hey, just at right guard, we didn't play very good. It was almost like piano keys, at one time the back didn't press it maybe exactly like you want. Then one time we don't get enough movement in the C area at tight end. Then one time the backside tackle was wrong. Then one time it's the center. And then it was just kind of one of those deals, But I've said this before, I remember Grambling, we came in here and it's like, we didn't run it very well. And it's like, well, we're not going to beat our head against the wall. We're going to try to find a way to manufacture offense. And fortunately, look, Chandler played great. We made a bunch of plays in the throw game. So, I'm not going to just ram my head into the wall just to say we ran it better. We just kind of shifted gears a little bit, challenged those guys. They watched the tape yesterday. They know they want to play better than that. If anybody wants to play good, it's that group. I know that. So, we're going to get back to work this week. We're going to get those things cleaned up. We'll play better in the run game. One thing I know about our team is when you challenge them and maybe something's not quite to the standard that you want it to be, we respond really well. So I'm excited because we're going to have to play well up front because they do a good job against the run. They move the front. They've got a good front. We're going to have to play better up front to be able to run the football. And I'm excited to watch them respond and do it a little bit better.
Do you expect the same starting offensive line as last week?
Hoping George will be back. I just saw him on the way in here. He's getting ready to go run on the field and see where he's at. And he's trying like hell to get back. So, he's played a lot of good football for us this year. So it'd be great to get him back if we can. Obviously if he can't function for us the way he needs to be successful, we're not going to put him in that situation. But he's trying, he's last week, all week he kind of fought it. We knew last week wasn't very likely. This week, we're hopeful that by the time we get to the race, he'll be ready to go and at least give us, even if it's 20 snaps, that's, just to limit him, it'd be great to have him back. So, but we'll have to see where he's at. We're not going to put him in a spot where he's going to get hurt or can't perform.
Talk about challenging and then responding. It seems like the Whiteouts did that this past week. How do you kind of keep that same focused thought level heading into this last game so that if you don't kind of slide back?
Well, what I told him is this, we've this year, this team's done a really good job with a lot of things that we've talked about and harped on. And we talked about last year a lot, right? And we talked about learning from last year and the things that we didn't do overly well last year, learning from. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we played really well at home, right? And then we came out and we played the worst half of football that we've played, in a while. What have we learned? Do we play well and think we cracked the code here? Or do we understand there's still a lot left to be fixed? Now, I'll say this. I think after watching this game, as opposed to a couple weeks back, there's a lot we need to get fixed and a lot we need to do better. So I think those guys get that. And they have responded and have responded well to the challenge. But, what I told them yesterday is we have to have the same urgency and intensity as we did last week. It was sickening the entire week having to deal with the way that game happened. That motivated us all week to get ready to go out there and go play well. We have to kind of keep that feeling a little bit, understand, we don't want that again. Understand it's up to us to control that it doesn't happen, but we gotta, we have to have that mindset. And I told him, you got to get back to the us against everybody else that did. Like right now, you finally got a chance to prove that we're right. Like we have a chance this week to prove what we thought was true. And that's a hell of a motivator. It needs to motivate us, and we need to go prove ourselves right this week.
I think Chandler mentioned after the game he would have to go back. Maybe he got out of the pocket early a couple of times when y'all went back. How did y'all feel about kind of him getting out early or on time, things like that?
That guy was ready to go. I mean, he was geeked up and ready to play. He did. He avoided the pocket the first drive a couple times, where he could have stood in there and stepped up. And look, I mean, he's been waiting for that opportunity for a long time, and he was ready to go out there, and he wanted to go play really well for us, and he did. Naturally, he was a little probably overexcited early on, avoided the pocket, still made a hell of a throw. The touchdown to Tavion, probably had an easier touchdown if we stayed in there to Lance, but Chandler made something happen, scrambled around, great throw, great catch by Tavion. So we got back on the side and said, hey man, just got to calm down a little bit, step up, trust the pocket, and he did that the rest of the game. And guy played great for us, helped us win that game. Certainly was a huge part of it.
ULM, I know defensively has been a strength for them all year long. What challenges do they present on Saturday?
I think they're really sound on defense. I mean, they're going to slow the game down on offense and try to establish the run. And when that's clicking for them, on defense, they make you earn it all the way down the field. And I think it's hard to be perfect an entire drive. Like it's hard to drive a ball 75 yards and go 10, 12, 13 plays. I think that's the challenge that it presents, is they're going to let you screw something up and then get you in a long yardage situation and then get off the field. And, up front, they've got a big front. They do a good job up front. I think they're active at linebacker. And I think on the back end, they do a great job keeping everything in front. They play more off coverage than they do press. They get the ball on the ground. They play the next set of downs if they have to. And that's something that, I think that's kind of been a formula for us a little bit. Don't give up the huge pass plays, and you got a chance to play another set of downs and get off the field at some point. So I think defensively, they played really hard. You can tell those guys are, they're still drinking the Kool-Aid for sure. I mean, they played really hard last week and had chances to win that game. Certainly, would be a whole lot better if they weren't for us. But we're gonna get their best. We got to make sure they get ours.
They also have something to play for.
Yeah. I was hoping they were gonna get 6 wins before this. But it is what it is. Like I said last week, we were playing Troy when they're playing their best football. That's what you want. You want to have to go play well. I think in the long run, playing teams that are playing well that believe makes you a better team. We got to go. We got to play. It's got to be a business-like approach this week. We set out a long time ago to go do this, and we had an approach and we had a process every single week that we worked to get here. Well, this week, like I said, you don't get away from the things that got you here. You double down on them. You make sure you do them better, and we're going to have to handle our business this week because they're going to come out ready to play. Like I said, we're going to get their best. We got to make sure they get ours.
Would you consider ULM a rival? I know on social media people have been.
Yes, they're a rival. I don't care what anybody says. Absolutely, it is. And, people get caught up in a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. I mean, you just go back and look at the scores. 9 times out of 10, it is a street fight whenever you play those guys. It is what it is. Yes, it's a rival. It's a game that they absolutely want to win. It's a game we absolutely want to win. So, yeah, without a doubt. And I think it's a good rivalry. I think it's been a good thing. There hadn't been a whole lot of bad blood, anything like that between the two. It's been good football. It's been two teams that really want to win, that play the right way, that play hard, and that's what it's going to be on Saturday. So, yes, absolutely, it's a rivalry. And I think it's a good one. I love that it's Week 12. I think that's an awesome thing for us and for them. Without a doubt it is.
Besides Cody, who you mentioned, and obviously Keon played well, and Casey always seems to. Anybody else play well on defense?
We played well up front. We played really well up front. Jordan Lawson and Antoine Bayless played great, though. Bayless had, he had a few stats, but that might not be as telling as the way that he played. I mean, the guy played with his hair on fire. He was active. He was all over the place. We played well on defense in general. I mean, Yeah, they scored 30 points. They've been averaging 32 points a game the last 4 weeks. I mean, they've kind of figured out on offense a little bit. But I thought we played pretty well on defense. I thought those two guys in particular up front played great. I mean, we had, I think, 4 batted balls at the line of scrimmage, tip balls at the line of scrimmage, forced 3 turnovers. I thought we did some good stuff on defense. But, yeah, I thought those two, if you had to single out a couple guys, those are 2 more that did.
I know we talk a lot about ULM's defense, but what on offense could give you trouble if they play? Well, I'm sure at times this year they played well.
Yeah, hell yeah, they have. I mean, the running back, I mean, the whole thing's centered around him. And I don't mean they don't have anyone else. What I mean is when they're running the ball effectively and really well, they're clicking on offense. You know, the quarterback's a good athlete. He does a good job in what they do. We got to be able to neutralize the run a little bit. If you have to commit too many people to it, you know, we played against Coach Vincent when he was calling at UAB, and they're going to establish the run. They're going to be really physical in the run game, and they're going to take shots over your head off of the exact same run action, run set, everything, which is good football. You're going to have to play with eye discipline on the back end because I think, first of all, they're going to take shots. They do it every game. We got to be on top. We got to go play the ball. Number 2, we got to be able to play the run with the box, you know, with 6 or maybe 7, but you got to be able to play with the box and you got to be able to neutralize it. If you can't, it's going to be a really long night because then you got to get more in the box and then you're leaving more people in one-on-one situations for these shot plays. So, yeah, I mean, I think it starts with the running back, and that's their mindset and what they're going to try to do. They're going to establish the run. I think up front they do a good job with that group. They got them working together. You know, I mean, you can tell they're on the same page and everything that they do. They cover it up, and the back is I don't know if we've played anyone that has as good a contact balance as he does. You know, I mean, probably since Tulane. This kid is really powerful. You know, defensively, if there was ever a week where you better gang tackle, you better run to the football, and you better get 11 hats to the ball carrier, it's this week. I mean, every week he seems to pop a long one that looks like it's over, and then he just spins out and he's gone. So we got to get the guy on the ground, and we got to make sure he's on the ground because he plays, I mean, through contact, and he fights for yards, and he does a really good job of that, and they play really well around him. So, yeah, absolutely. We're going to have to play really well against the run, and we're going to have to do it traditionally, I think, more so than saying, all right, we're just going to put a bunch of people in the box because they will take shots over your head, and they've hit them.